And we are live. What is going on, everyone? Thank you all so much for tuning in at this time. Everybody that's here, greatly appreciate it. Anybody watching this in the replay, thank you so much. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel. So again, not the perfect game. Lakers are in control start to finish. I mean, they basically handled it the way that you should against San Antonio. But I did like that we got back into sharing the basketball, moving the basketball, right? Ball wasn't sticking. We had some nice plays, some very unselfish plays, as we should. I felt like in that Warriors game, the Lakers just went away from the things that were leading to the success post or pre All-Star break. And I just felt like we once again just kind of fell into old habits. And again, we're still not fully there. We still need to do a better job of moving the basketball, moving without the basketball, sharing the basketball better. Still a little too much ISO at times, I felt like. Granted, again, I get it's the Spurs, right? You have a lot of like individual favorable matchups if you're the Lakers. So it's kind of like, okay, let's exploit those matchups. Let's exploit those. You saw AD and LeBron being able to kind of do their thing. D'Lo, that's why I said let's be patient with D'Lo, right? Let's see. I'm not just going to get on D'Lo after one game, right? But what happens is, D'Lo had some favorable matchups. He targeted some guys on defense, was able to get to his spots, and it was just more of a clinic on the offensive side, especially from the mid range. I think he only took like 4 or 5 threes. How many threes did he take? He took where'd he go? He ended up taking more, 7. So I guess 2 more than I thought. But point is that he was picking and choosing spots, getting to his spots more, right? But I want to see the Lakers continue to build good habits. I really didn't like the way that the Lakers played in the Warriors game. Like I said yesterday in the live stream, it wasn't so much that the Lakers lost to the Warriors, it was how they lost to the Warriors. And I don't mean like, they lost by 20 or whatever. I mean them just getting away from the things that were working, playing into the Warriors game plan, right? The Lakers are faced with a zone and like never made a real attempt to break up the zone, never made a real attempt to try to just maneuver to win against the Warriors. I felt like they just kept playing into the Warriors' hands and just being careless and jacking up shots. And it was things that were just very, very frustrating. But regardless, it's one of those things where, I'm hoping that we can continue to kind of push in the right direction as far as just developing those good habits and getting back to the style of basketball that we played pre All-Star break, right? Again, game or two, it's fine. That's why I said I was glad we played this Spurs game before we played the Suns and the Clippers coming up. I felt like we really needed this game because I had my concerns about the Warriors game kind of going the way the Warriors game had, right? First game back, guys are a little off, guys are a little sluggish, guys aren't really playing the way that we're accustomed to, guys aren't hitting shots. Unfortunately, we didn't have a Steph Curry. Look at the Warriors when they started the game, right? The Warriors, they start off they not terrible, but they didn't start off great shooting either. You had Steph, who's just lighting it up and starts 3 for 3 from 3, and he's being aggressive, and he has 25 to end the half. Right? We didn't have that guy that was in rhythm, that basically was just going about his normal routine all-star break because he had the matchup against Sabrina and all that stuff. So, I kind of expected the Warriors game, and that's why I was like, okay, the Spurs game is a good opportunity for us to kind of right the ship. It's a good opportunity for us to kind of get through the hiccups, right? Again, it's the Spurs. I'm not saying like, Lakers, no, it was just, to me, this was a get out of your funk game, get back to playing the right way, which I thought that they did more this game than they did. To me, it was more about getting guys confident again, getting guys to find their shot again. As you saw with D'Lo, immediately found his shot this game, shot the ball well. Reeves shot pretty decent. You saw these guys, just kind of getting back into a groove, getting back into a rhythm, right? So that's my hope, is that will continue. That this was kind of that okay, let's get back into our rhythm. And now we got to go play the Suns. Now we go play the Clippers. Now we go close out this month of February, in which we got to get 2 out of our next 3, in my opinion. I'd love to win all 3. I would. I'd love it. And it's not out of the realm of possibility. We've beaten the Suns 3 times, beaten the Clippers twice, and the Wizards should be a win. You never really know, but should be. So if we can at least beat one of the Suns or the Clippers, get that win against the Wizards, I think we'll be right back on track. And then the over dramaticness of yesterday, I think will kind of fade away. And it's like, okay, let's get back to business. But anyway, let's dive into the box scores real quick, break that all down, run through the players, and then we will dive into all of the super chats and regular chats and stuff. I really appreciate it. So let's also real quick hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and let's get into it. So Rui had a solid game. He was 7 for 11, got back to the rhythm. And this is the type of things that I'm talking about. Got Rui back involved, got D'Lo back involved. Right? Guys were able to kind of find their shot and their stroke. But Rui, 7 of 11, 3 of 4 from 3, 17 points, 7 rebounds, 2 steals, 1 block. Solid game from him. LeBron came, saw, conquered. 13 of 22, 2 of 3 from 3, right? 2 of 2 from the foul line, 7 rebounds, 9 assists, only 2 turnovers. Took care of the basketball. That's what I like to see. 30 points, plus 21. Anthony Davis, I like that we didn't have to play Anthony Davis a ton of minutes this game. We only played him 29 minutes, which is good. We were able to kind of weather him. There was concerns that he wouldn't even play this game. So able to kind of not have to overwork him, not have to have him play 36 minutes. That's good. And so, he was 10 of 14 from the field, 13 rebounds, 1 steal, 28 points. He finished. What's crazy, and again, like this is something that I'll give Darvin Ham credit for. Darvin Ham, it's hard to find things to give Darvin Ham credit for. But one of the things that I'll give Darvin Ham credit for is not just immediately overreacting and pulling out Anthony Davis, right? A lot of people see that and immediately go, oh, we got to get him out of there so he doesn't foul again. He stuck with Anthony Davis. He got 2 quick fouls, and he finished the game with 2 fouls. I appreciate that he didn't kind of overreact. We got to get AD out the game. Let AD continue to play, continue to flow, and he delivered. Austin Reeves, 4 of 12 from the field, 2 of 5 from 3, 5 rebounds, 9 assists, 5 turnovers. He's got to take better care of the basketball. Some of his passes are just very careless. Tries to force things at times. I've talked about it. I'm not going to dive into it too much. But again, making plays, playmaker. He's a guy that can make plays. Can he go get 9 assists? Absolutely. He's not a playmaker. His decision-making at times can be a little concerning. But nonetheless, not a great game by him by any stretch, but not like a terrible game from him. I like that he's continuing to hit threes. That's very important for us going forward. He continues to hit 2 threes, shooting around 40%. We need that. Need him to continue to shoot those threes, knock down those threes, because that just opens up so much more for him and everyone else if he's knocking down shooting threes. D'Angelo Russell, 8 of 18 from the field, 3 of 7 from 3, 6 assists, 3 rebounds, 22 points. Again, nice little bounce back game from him. Spencer Dinwiddie, 0 of 6, 0 of 3. I know inherently it's like, oh man, Spencer Dinwiddie, terrible, but the Lakers don't do anything with him, and it's so frustrating. And it's crazy. He was a plus 21. He was tied with LeBron for the highest plus minus at plus 21, and he was 0 of 6 from the field and 0 of 3 from 3, which tells you a lot about plus minus. But it's just, again, he was solid defensively. He did a lot of the things that we needed him to do on that side. But it frustrates me that he's just out there, right? Like he's just there, right? Like get him involved. Like it frustrates me how many times like he's just kind of there, right? It's like, can we get him in some actions? Can we get him kind of orchestrating through things? Like, can we kind of get this Phil Like, can we kind of see what he's capable of rather than just like, oh, let's just throw him the ball at the end of a shot clock and now he's got to jack up a shot, or he's got to try to like force the issue because it's like, dude, I'm not getting any attempts, I'm not doing anything. It's frustrating. I want to see what can Dinwiddie provide the Lakers? What can Dinwiddie bring to the Lakers outside of just standing out on the perimeter all game? It's like those kind of things. It drives me crazy. I understand he's the new guy. I understand it's the fourth game in. So maybe that changes at some point, but it's like, how is he supposed to find any type of rhythm? How is he supposed to find any type of cohesiveness? How is he supposed to find anything when his sole role is just this game in a nutshell. It's just, man, it's like, come on. Can we like just find some type of just role for him, some fit outside of him just being out there? But anyway, let's dive into the chat. Again, I appreciate y'all being here. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let's get into it. That step back three from Hayes was nasty. Jackson Hayes has been very he's been solid for us. Would have been nice if you hit it, but he's been solid for the Lakers. I really like his energy out there, his effort, the way he's been playing lately. We didn't get Spencer Dinwiddie involved. Exactly. That's my point. It's driving me crazy. Like, why did you bring him here to have him just stand around all day? Like, he's not in any actions. Like, nobody's looking for him. It's like he's not even on the court. It's like literally nobody's trying to find Spencer Dinwiddie or getting him involved. It's just like, can we get him on some off-ball actions? Can we get him on some back screens, back doors, whatever? Get him anything, do anything other than him just standing in the corner all game. Like, it's just like, come on, man. Like, why do we bring him here? It's just frustrating. Tyler, how good do you think Austin Reaves would be if he had Kyrie handles and Vince Carter's athleticism? If you give anybody Kyrie's handles and Vince Carter's athleticism, probably going to be a pretty good player. I mean, it depends on other things, right? Like, so if Austin Reaves has all the same skill sets and you're just adding the handles of Kyrie and the athleticism of Vince Carter, he might be a top 5 player in the league just because everything would just be so much easier for him, right? Because right now he's just, most of his offense comes from like craftiness, him getting to the teeth of the defense, him creating contact, him shooting spot ups, where he had those handles and he had to me, it'd be more of like Kyrie's handles and finishing ability. You gave him Kyrie's handles and finishing ability with Vince Carter's athleticism, Austin Reaves might be our best player. Like, he'd be pretty good. Then, as remember, Reaves being a solid defender in the Rush years, he had held his own a ton. I def remember him having a lot of Swiss Army knife-like games in the past too. I know he's burnt out, but damn, and that's my problem. Like, it's something that I've been screaming about all season long, and so many people are like, oh, he'll fit. No, he's been bad. It's not even like he's he was never last year. He wasn't a great defender. He wasn't some lockdown defensive guy, but he was serviceable. He held his own. You didn't have to necessarily worry about him. He still got cooked at times. Look at the Warriors series, right? Clay was cooking him, but that's Klay Thompson, right? And Austin Reaves kind of figured it out as the season progressed, and he kind of bounced back and then was really good for us in the Denver series. But it's just it's one of those things where it's like he just completely forgot how to play defense altogether. It's weird. It really is. Again, I don't need him. We don't need him to be elite. He doesn't need to be some lockdown. He doesn't need to be Jared Vanderbilt defense. I mean, obviously that'd be nice, but at least hold your own. Right? It's one of the things. That's why I've praised D'Lo this year. A lot of people are like, "Oh, he's not this great." But he doesn't need to be. He just needs to be serviceable. D'Lo has been good enough, right? If Austin Reaves was good enough, then the Lakers would just be in a much better spot, right? Because that's the problem. It's okay, well, D'Lo's doing a better job of staying in front of guys, using his wingspan, not getting just torched. So let's target Austin Reaves. And now they're targeting Austin Reaves, and Austin Reaves is just getting bodied. What's going on, Daniel? Looked very healthy tonight, which is good. I mean, the dude basically had 2 weeks off. I would hope he'd be relatively healthy, but crystal ball. Hey, Tyler, even with this win, I'm very concerned. This team is not good at all. We just can't get a simple stop, and offensively is basically LeBron and AD with some flashes of D'Lo and Reeves. We're mid. I mean, these last two, the Warriors game in particular, yes, we were terrible. This game, I felt like we did a little better. Problem is like they did it a lot this game where like they would go and they'd get like a 15. The problem is just the Lakers knew they were going to win, and I don't like it. Again, I think that this is a bad habit, but the Lakers have done this several times against some of the bad teams, right? It's why like we'll blow out some of these bad teams, but like we'll play like these bad to like mid teams, and the Lakers just like they know, okay, we're gonna win this game, right? So like just kind of take it easy. And like they'll go and like push the lead, and then they'll just like take their foot off the gas. And then they'll let the team back in, and then boom, they'll push the lead back out, and then they'll take their foot off the gas. Rather than just like, hey, let's just keep our foot on the gas, put this thing away, and then we can all just chill and sip Mai Tais and live our best life in the fourth quarter and let the G League guys get some run. Those kind of things bother me. Again, I don't want to put too much into like the first few games back from All-Star break. It's one of the reasons why I was glad we had the Spurs game before we had the Suns and Clippers game, because I had concerns like if we didn't have the Spurs game, we might lose those first three games. So my hope is that like, okay, we're playing the Suns next. They're a team that's capable of beating us. We need to handle our business. We need to like play our game. Let's get back to playing Laker branded basketball. So I want to wait for the Suns game, because now that'll be 3 games back, right? Guys, you had the kind of right the ship game with the Spurs. A win is a win. I'm not going to complain about the win, but I'd like to see some of the bad habits go away, right? Because the Lakers they're not in a position to where it's like, it's fine, we'll just turn it on in the playoffs. All right, if they were like the 3 seed, I wouldn't really care as much. It'd be like, look, they're just going to turn it on in the playoffs and we'll be fine. And look, the Lakers, I do believe, will turn it on to an extent if they get to the playoffs. But that's, again, if they get to the playoffs. They have to get to the playoffs. Once we get to the playoffs, I'm very confident in this Lakers team. I'm not saying that like they'll just run through everybody, but I like their matchups against pretty much every team in the league, and I like the chances of us beating pretty much every team in the league. But again, we have to get there, and the bad habits that we're creating on the way there, it's definitely a cause for concern. Got to make sure LeBron can hit jumpers come playoff time. That's the main thing I'm paying attention to. We need those legs in top shape, which is why I was okay with the Warriors, right? The Warriors game, him sitting out. Now, obviously, would I have rathered him play the Warriors game and sit out this game? Sure, but it's just the timing of the treatment. If we played the Spurs first, then LeBron would have missed the Spurs game and would have played the Warriors game. It was just timing. But I would rather take that Warriors loss to ensure we have a healthy, ready to go LeBron, and have him miss a key game here and there. I know it's frustrating because we're not a top 3 seed or anything. We're not in a position to just like take L's. But again, to me, it's like, even if as long as we get to the 7th or 8th seed and LeBron is healthy, I'm fine. I'm comfortable, right? It would suck to have to play an extra game, but you got to do what you got to do. Get in. As long as you give me a healthy LeBron, healthy AD, again, I like our chances. We had a LeBron that needed foot surgery and a one-legged Anthony Davis, and we got to the conference finals, right? Let's see what happens if they're healthy. So to me, I'd rather the Lakers prioritize health over everything, especially with all just the injuries and just everything that we've had this season. It's frustrating. AR dribbling the ball with D'Lo and Braun on the floor needs to stop. AR is a bad playmaker. He has 5 turnovers, which is why I said he's not a playmaker. And I've had a lot of people push back, but again, just watch the games. Every time I say he's not a playmaker, somebody's like, he is a playmaker. Again, watch the games. He is not a playmaker. Like, there are a lot of guys in this league that can find the open man, that can be the hockey assist guy, that can keep the ball moving, keep the ball swinging, right? find the occasional cutter, run the basic pick and roll. I mean, like if you've ever played basketball, you can run a basic pick and roll, right? So that's the thing. Like, but as far as him like creating things and seeing things develop and unfold, these last two games have been perfect. The Warriors game more than anything, right? I mean, just the clear missed assignments. If you're taking on the playmaker role, you got to be the playmaker, right? There's no reason Anthony Davis should have established position on a smaller defender and you decide to shoot a three. Like those kind of things are what frustrate me. But look, he'll get there. I believe Austin Reaves can get there. I just don't think he's there yet. So I do agree. Like if you have Reaves or D'Lo and you have LeBron, even Spencer Dinwiddie, give them the ball. Let them run the show. Those guys are proven. I'm taking Lakers over Spurs all day. Yeah, they're going to win 9 out of 10 times, if not more. But Austin had the spirit of JHS in him today. Just straight drunk plays every single possession from him tonight. No, not worried about him, though. Yeah, that was good. That was good. He had the spirit of JHS. Again, it's the lack of, again, he's not a playmaker, right? Every time he has to be put in a playmaker role, he struggles with ball pressure, right? So every time he had the ball, what did the Spurs do? They pressed him, kind of got him in compromised positions where he had to kind of force stuff. Just how it goes. Is it just me, or did Reaves turn into Fred VanVleet this year? Can play make really well, but extremely inefficient shooting. I mean, Austin Reaves has been better shooting this season. Sorry, not this season. This stretch, this last like 10 games. Sorry, correction. He's been terrible shooting the ball this season. But so far through this like last little stretch, I wouldn't really call all right, you said play make, so yeah. But his 3-point shot has really came around the last like 15 games. He's shooting around 41%. So we need that to continue. I mean, even today he shot 40%. If he can consistently find that, I think it'll open up more. Because right now teams are still kind of like just kind of letting him take those deep shots, not really pressing him. If he can start consistently, hitting those shots and creating just good looks for himself, that'll open up the rest of his game. Ham isn't a championship level coach yet at this point in his career. I don't really think he is either, but doesn't mean we can't get there. I mean, David Blatt went to an NBA Finals. Granted, you had a LeBron James that was in his prime, but like we have the talent and the tools, right? And once you get to the postseason, hopefully Darvin Ham just kind of like keeps it to like 8 guys to where Darvin Ham is always going to default to LeBron and AD, right? And they're going to pick it up more. And if they're healthy, I'm not going to worry about Darvin Ham as much because he's not going to have to coach as frequent in the playoffs, right? He's going to have to make. I'm not saying he's not going to have to make changes and he's not going to have to, game by game, make little slight adjustments, but like the ins and outs, right? You're not really managing guys the way you're trying to in the regular season. You're not really like trying to experiment when you get to the postseason, right? A lot of the things that Darvin Ham does during the regular season, he just isn't going to do in the postseason, as we saw last year, right? He was actually good he out-coached, why am I blanking on Memphis's coach? I know it starts with J. I was going to say Jurgens, but it's not that. But anyway, Memphis's head coach clearly outcoached him. Even Steve Kerr, Darvin Ham, like clearly outcoached. But it's because like playoff basketball in a lot of ways is a lot more simplified, right? Like you don't have to like try to figure like you lean like come postseason, you lean heavily on your stars, right? What did the Lakers do last playoffs? Which they did in the in-season tournament, and they're gonna do in the playoffs. They put LeBron and AD in the front court, and everything operated out of that. That's what's gonna happen when we get to the playoffs. LeBron's gonna be on the block, AD's gonna be on the block, and everything's just gonna funnel through that. Which means Darvin Ham doesn't really have to do anything. You basically put it in the stars and you let them figure it out. He'll have to still timeouts and things like that, but it's more simplified. once we get there, because you have the luxury of a LeBron James and Anthony Davis. The Bucks did play very good. Hey, look, I mean, the Bucks have Giannis and Dame. I think Milwaukee's been rough this season, but look, they have two of the top 20 guys in the league. Depending on where you put Dame, Giannis is top 5 at worst, right? So they definitely are going to be a force. It's just, can they figure it out, right? The All-Star break might have done well for him. Dame winning the MVP, having a good stretch, because he's been kind of he's been rough for them. He hasn't been the Dame that they expected him to be, but maybe kind of basically getting 3-point reps in the All-Star game might have helped a lot. Mentioned you in Lakers Nation Super Chat yesterday. I need them to recognize. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Seriously. Hey, like I said, I mean, I know a lot of people have asked, when am I going to go on? Am I ever going to do that? Look, I would love it. Again, I'm not going to invite myself into somebody else's home, but you just keep sprinkling. Hey, Tyler from Adstance Lakers. I'd appreciate that. I would. If it happens, great. I'd be more than happy to sit and talk. Whether I go with them or they come on here, whatever. But look, I'm just thankful to be in the position I'm in. Like I said, I've been doing this a year and a half now, year and 8 months, something like that. So I had a lot of work to do. I had a long way to go. I'm a baby in this space. So and the fact that I'm closing in on 20K, which hit that subscribe button, everybody. You guys are awesome. But the fact that I'm even I'm basically on the brink of 20K subs is just mind blowing to me. Seriously. In such what I think is a short time. And also got to add, even with being this mid, I do think this team has room for improvement. But with a guy like Darvin Ham as a head coach, I really doubt we getting something more in the next 5 to 10 games. I mean, we just went on an 11 out of 16 stretch, so there's definitely the Lakers can definitely do it. And I mean, we've seen what they can do when they turn it on. And like I said in the playoffs last season, Darvin Ham was actually very good in the playoffs. Even the Denver series, I know he wasn't great in the Denver series, but it's not like he had nobody really showed up. That Denver series was just tough. It was just bad. It was just a bad series for everybody. So he has it there, right? Plus everyone's hurt. It's a lot of variables. Again, it's more so to me the habits and getting away from the basics, right? Sharing the basketball, moving the basketball, right? Playing, locking in. To me, it's more of what concerns me the most is the Lakers at times just seem to they don't want to be there almost. It's weird. That's what drives me crazy. Is that? But coming out the $5 super chat. Thank you so much. I don't like the fact that AR goes into ball hog mode when LeBron and AD are not on the floor. It drives me insane. Keep sharing the ball, my guy. But that's my point, right? He gets tunnel vision a lot when he has the basketball. He just sees the green light and just goes. And it's he wants to be a playmaker, right? He talked about it. He was advocating for it this offseason, and the Lakers have tried to oblige him, but it's just he doesn't know how to be a scorer and make plays. It's one or the other. It's either, okay, let me find the open man and keep the ball moving, or it's let me go and just go get buckets. Where you see a guy like a D'Lo or a LeBron, right? They're constantly keeping a lookout. They always have their head on a swivel. You see it all the time. D'Lo will get into the paint. He's clearly looking for his shot. He's about to go and take the shot. And then he'll see the guy cutting and, let me just dish that to him. Or Anthony Davis rolls. And he's in the midst of pulling up. And then it's let me dump that off to AD, right? Let me get the assist. He's adjusting with what is happening on the court. Reeves hasn't figured that out yet. Reeves doesn't know how to read the entire court. He just sees this box and he's like, okay, and if something is in that box, then yeah, he can kind of at times can do that. But he sees this box and he's like, okay, I'm just going to focus on this box. And he just gets this tunnel vision. And it's like, he's not there yet. But it frustrates me because the Lakers keep putting him in the position to allow him to do that. And it's like, it's why you got Spencer Dinwiddie. Give Spencer Dinwiddie the basketball. Let Dinwiddie go and do his thing. But I don't know. It does. It drives me insane too. I'm with you, Kazo. It's just it does. I'm with you. Keep sharing the basketball. Keep the ball moving. Play the right way. Play the right way. That's my point. Oh, thanks so much coming out the super sticker. I hate how StreamYard doesn't show me like what the sticker is. Here, let's pull it up because I want to see what it is. But like it just says super sticker. That's all it says. And I want to know what the sticker was. Let's see. Let's find out in real time. I really appreciate that too. Come on. It was it's a little halo, little happy face. Like, well, it's like a smirk face, with a halo. It's like no, but I appreciate that. Seriously, thank you very much, and seriously, thank you for letting Laker Nation know and all that stuff. Look, the goal for me is everyone will know me. You know what I mean? Like that's the goal. Right? Like you can't think or talk about the Lakers without like, oh man, Tyler and as it stands Lakers. Right? Like that's where I want to be. That's the goal. And got a lot of work to do, right? You know, like Laker Nation is the standard, right? They're the bar. They're the ones that, you know, they've been around the longest. They've been around since like what, 2012, something like that. You know, they're the status quo, so to speak, right? They're the milestone, which is good, right? You need that to know like what can I become, right? It gives me something to strive for. Okay, like you know, I'm just coming in the league. I'm still on my sophomore year. This is year. I'm on year 2 for me. Got a long way to go. You know, and Lakers Nation, they're on LeBron years right now. I got a lot of work to do to get to that point, and I'm excited for it. I'm excited for the journey. Excited for the ride. Excited to see where this goes, how this grows, different things I can expand into, different channels or whatever. Or, at some point introduce merch and maybe channel membership, stuff like that. I've had people ask me now, but like I want to get to the point where it's like, okay, now it's like worth it. Like I'm sure I could do some of that stuff now, but to me, it's not so much. I mean, obviously you want to make money. Obviously I want to do this for a living, but it's not so much about like just the dollar amount as it is like, let me build this. I want to, more than anything, I want to see where can this go? Where can this build? Super chats, super stickers, you just watching the videos and subscribing and liking all that stuff are great for me. But I want to build, I want to be the community. I want to be the space. That's why I do these live streams and I go through everybody rather than like trying to add the incentive of like super chats and stuff. I'm sure I'd get a lot more super chats, things like that if I tried to like push that. But to me, this is how I'm growing, how I'm building, getting people like yourself that are coming in here and like, dude, this guy's great. Like, that's what I want. I want to build that platform. So I'm coming for the title, for the GOAT title. It's coming. Got a lot of work to do though. But again, I appreciate you. Come on. What is the stick? There we go. Okay, where were we? I was right. I think I was right. Here we go. One down. Hayes needs to recognize when he's being beat on defense, but that's the problem. That's the thing that, again, I really like what Hayes is doing as far as like the energy and effort and the things that he's been providing to this team lately. He just doesn't have the discipline. So I keep talking about the discipline with Jackson Hayes. He needs to have that awareness, that understanding, that patience of like, okay, like this is where I need to be. This is my zone. I need to stay in this spot, right? And it'll come. He's young. He was always going to be a project big. when the Lakers signed him, I was excited for him because I was like, I think he can help now. I didn't think he was going to be the main big man right behind Anthony Davis. I thought, okay, he'd be like the third option, guy that plays, 10 to 15 minutes a game, somewhere in that ballpark, and can really, make an impact in the minutes that he plays. But I hope he sticks around. I think he's a guy that could really, you can see the potential there. You can see what he may be able to become. And that could really be a nice starting level center alongside Anthony Davis in the near future. Got to get AR to the bench, need a more defensive-minded backcourt with Dinwiddie. I've been preaching Dinwiddie starting. I think they should. I still think it's probably going to happen at some point. I think it also just depends on how the Lakers are doing. If the Lakers start, continue to win games and, keep that, 11 out of 16 win pace that they've been on, then I don't think Darvin Ham's going to switch it. But if they have some struggles, I could see, if we go on a 3-game losing streak, I could see Darvin Ham going, all right, we need to change something here. Let's move Dinwiddie into the starting unit and see how that goes. Reeves was trash this game. Wasn't great. I wouldn't say he was, to me, trash, strong word. But I wouldn't say he was trash. But he was not very good. But if that's the word you want to use, absolutely. The AD Bron pick and roll literally works every time. They should have been spamming this a lot more throughout this season. Yeah. Even the commentators were like, how come they don't just do this all game? And they're like, technically you could. And technically they can do, but I'm telling you, once we get to the playoffs, I really think that's going to be, they're going to run the offense just like they did last year. You're going to have LeBron and AD. They did it in the in-season tournament, right? You saw, a lot more just Anthony Davis, LeBron James, everything's kind of flowing out of them in the post. That's kind of what I think will happen once we get to the postseason. It'll be a lot of Anthony Davis and LeBron James. Everything kind of orbits around them. Play a lot of inside-out game. I'm glad the Lakers won, but if they don't start playing with more energy, effort, and desperation, we will lose to the Suns, and the Warriors will catch and pass them. Yeah, it's a concern, definitely. They beat the Spurs, although they did. They did. We were dead yesterday, but we back alive again, baby. Let's go. The turnaround back to turning. Yeah. Like I said, I need to see how do they fare against the Suns and the Clippers. What does that look like? How does that shape up? But this is good to kind of get guys back flowing, right? You saw D'Lo kind of get back in a rhythm, get back into a flow. Rui back into a rhythm, back into a flow. We need that. Dinwiddie needs to play with Reeves, not D'Lo. D'Lo literally never gives him the ball, which is weird because they played together. They have a relationship. Not saying it's his fault, but it's just the fact that they both want to initiate offense. It's a redundancy. Yeah, and that's kind of my thoughts too, right? And that's what frustrates me. It's if Dinwiddie's going to be your main guard off the bench, then let him be your main guard off the bench. Put the ball in his hands. Let Reeves play shooting guard, which is what he is and what he's best at. Dinwiddie and D'Lo are your point guards. Even when Gabe Vincent comes back, Gabe Vincent is not the playmaker Dinwiddie is. He's more a two-guard, undersized two-guard than a true point guard. So you can even run those two side by side and let Gabe Vincent play off ball. That's kind of my thoughts with the two. I'm with you. I can see Dinwiddie becoming disgruntled with this team, just like his last. They aren't exactly getting him involved, which is what's frustrating me. And we need somebody like him. We need his defense. We need his ability to score and make plays for himself and others. It's frustrating to me. Get the guy the basketball and get him involved. Lakers need to stop trying to be someone they're not by chucking up threes and need to rely on scoring in the paint more. They just need to stick with what they're good at. Agreed. Taurean Prince and Rui are the perfect examples of Darvin's poor schemes and poor player adjustments. They're both solid role players, but how they've been utilized the whole season is the issue. Yeah, especially Rui. Like it drives me crazy the way Rui is utilized. Like he has a very good, like literally top like 80% skill set that we just never use to exploit teams. Um, I think I'm in the camp of having a hard time criticizing him. He's just not in the position to do anything but catch and shoot. Would make more sense for Dinwiddie to play with Reeves, so Spence can be the one and actually do what they wanted him to do instead of being a spot-up shooter. Ham needs to think about this. This is the second game I've seen Ham use Dinwiddie, Spencer Dinwiddie like this. Yeah, and I'm with you, right? Like it's. I mean, I made a whole video about it earlier. I don't know how much to assess Spencer Dinwiddie right now. Like, how do I know if he's good or not? How do I know anything about him and what his impact could be for this team when literally he's just standing around? He's doing exactly what I'm doing while I'm watching the TV. Literally just like it's just crazy. Like the dude's just out there. Like he's just there. Right? And like everyone just kind of forgets that he's there. It's weird the way that they've utilized him. Again, it's the fourth game in. So hopefully as we progress, that'll pick up, but it's frustrating. Greetings, my American NBA fans, real fans, not casuals. What's going on? Appreciate you. Hey, Tyler, just curious why you change your background. I actually want to I'm working on like a little corner over there to have like an actual background because it's like a shoddy green screen thing, which like I've never really been like happy with. And like like when I first was starting, I had a green screen in the back and it like doesn't really like change anything. So, and I just feel like it like fuzzy. Like I don't know. I was just like, just let me like keep it simple. And like I'm kind of like trying to map out like an actual background so it like has like some appealingness in the back other than like the door that like those like I don't know if you could see that like that's the little black marks are from like my little basketball hoop that I have. My basketball hoop used to be right here. Now I moved it over there, but it's what it is for me, like dunking on it and stuff. But it's just like to have a little bit of a more, I guess, cleaner look, right? And it's not so like fuzzy. It's not like this shoddy green screen in the back, which I probably should have done sooner. And I was like, I'm going to try to like organize the kind of have a background, like a background. Getting there, trying to make little subtle upgrades so people are like, man, he's really coming up in the world. And really, it's just so they just stopped using shitty green screen. I'm not happy with this win. I mean, look, a win's a win. I'll take it. I'm always going to be happy when the Lakers win. Was it like a great win? No, but it definitely was like there was some good stuff, some bad stuff. I know we won, but damn, Austin Reeves sucks. I don't think he sucks. He's not what people want him to be. I've been screaming that all year long. I've been screaming it from the rooftops, and everyone just tells me I'm an idiot. And it's just like, look, this is a great comment. Like literally everything Tyler said about Reeves is what I watched on my screen today in real time. Tyler really be spot on with this stuff. I've been screaming it all year long, and all I keep hearing is I'm an idiot that doesn't know what I'm talking about. And one of us just keeps being right. Okay, like. And it's not even like a bragging thing. It's just like, watch the games. Like, it's a simple understanding. It's just, I don't know. And again, I don't think Austin Reeves sucks. I just think he's not who fans want him to be. And he's not going to be that. Right? Like, I'm fine with Austin Reeves being what he is. I just think he should be in a different role and be utilized differently. Right? Again, if it was me, he would be on the bench, coming off the bench as the sixth man. His efficiency is better. He's been better off the bench than he is in a starting role. He's more efficient, more effective. And now you don't have this redundancy with Reeves and D'Lo. And you have that shit. It's just, again, like, Austin Reaves is a very specific, and I'm not saying he can't get better and improve. Like, can he become a better playmaker? Sure. But he's also probably closer to his ceiling than his floor. Like, I see a lot of comments from people, and I'm like, you realize Austin Reaves is 25, right? Not like 19 or 22 or something, right? Like, he's a veteran in this league already. I know this is his third year, but he's 5 years from his prime, or 3 years technically from 3 years from his prime. But usually like around 30 is like when people like really like get to the thing. So, it's not like a Max Christie situation where it's like, man, like Christie, literally you could hide him for 5 years and he'd be younger than Austin Reaves. Like, I just see what Austin Reaves is. It's clear. He's done it. He's been the same guy all season long, and people keep trying to now. And look, I kind of got a little lost in the sauce too in the offseason, right? Like, go look at some of my offseason videos, right? Like, everything that has happened with Austin Reaves this year, I said in the offseason I was concerned would play out. But I thought Austin Reaves would make the adjustments and kind of figure things out. He just hasn't. Like, I just think that this is kind of who he is. I think this is, he had a great run, but nobody cared. Right? Like, teams were worried about stopping LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Austin Reaves wasn't even a thought in teams' minds. So it's easy. Paul George had an entire podcast about that, about how like his first like couple years in the league, like he's putting up 20 like effortlessly, and it's just like it was cake. And then Danny Granger leaves and he becomes the guy, and everything changed. And he said it just became really hard. I didn't watch the game, but let me guess, another nail biter against the subpar team. No, Lakers pretty much were in control start to finish. It was pretty, they get to like 15 and then they like take their foot off the gas, and San Antonio would get it back to like 6, and then they'd like, boom, extend it to like 18, and then they like let it get it to like 7, and then boom, they did. But Lakers pretty much control start to finish. Tyler, do you think Max could be an option to start alongside D'Lo and bring Reaves, Spencer off the bench so AR can play his role off the bench and Spencer can play the one, not as a spot-up shooter, small forward? I mean, could you? Yes. Would I? No. Look, I like Max Christie. I like Max Christie a lot. I am super high on Max Christie for the future, right? I think in like 3 to 5 years, he could be like good. Problem is he's a 20-year-old kid, and he plays like it at times. He hasn't figured out how to properly fight over screens. He hasn't really built he doesn't have the grown man body yet. He just, during the regular season, could you get away with it? Sure. But come the postseason, I think you'd have to change that immediately. Problem is like everyone's injured right now, and we don't really have many options. It's why I've said just move Spencer Dinwiddie back. Now, if everybody's healthy, you could approach it one of two ways. Right? Like, let's say the team is fully healthy. Again, you could either go with the Spencer Dinwiddie thing, or you could like maybe move Gabe Vincent. And because again, Gabe Vincent isn't really like a playmaker, more of like an initiator, but he's like a 3-and-D. He's more of an undersized 2 guard than he is a point guard. But D'Lo, with his size, I think you can kind of make that work if you needed to. And now you got that point of attack defensive guy that can hit threes, D'Lo, all that stuff. Problem is just not like a ton of options. Like, could you do it? Sure. But I have concerns come the postseason. The good teams are going to be like, oh, there's our target point. And they're just going to torch a 20-year-old kid, and it's not going to be fun. Because I just don't think he's there yet. I think he's good. Like, I don't mind him in the rotation at times, but a lot of people would be like, oh, like we need to play Max Christie more. And I'm like, no, we don't. Like, keep him at like 12 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever. Let him just kind of get his feet wet, learn a little bit here and there. It's kind of my thoughts. But Andrew, League is wide open. Anyone can beat anyone in the playoffs. Look, I made an entire video about that on As It Stands Sports because I fully believe that 100%. Like this year, you can make an argument for like 10 teams to win it, like legitimately, right? Like obviously you have like the top teams and stuff like that, but like there is a genuine argument for like all 10 teams in the West. Right? Like if I like really wanted to spend an hour, like I could probably go through each team individually and break down why they will win the championship. And then like the East, not so much. There's probably like 5 teams, maybe 6 teams in the East that like I think you can make an argument for. Again, that's an argument for. If you really boil it down though, I think that there are like 8 teams that have a legit shot to win the championship, right? So yeah, I mean, I think literally like from the Clippers, the Nuggets, the Lakers, the Warriors, even like, and I know Lakers and Warriors, they haven't been great this year. Playoffs is a different beast, right? Like everybody, like look at what happened to the Sacramento Kings when they ran into the Warriors. The Warriors, if they didn't play the Lakers, they might have been in the conference finals again last year. The Lakers were just a bad matchup for them. Right. And like same thing this year. Like no one wants to play the Warriors. No one wants to play the Lakers. Right. Like every team in the league is praying that the Lakers and Warriors end up missing the playoffs. But it's just yeah, I mean it is. It's wide open, literally wide open. So we'll see. Again, just get them into the postseason. That's it. Lakers get into the playoffs. I'll take my chances. I would, like I said, I wouldn't bet on it, but I wouldn't be shocked either. Like if you had a time machine, you could jump in that time machine. You came back, you're like, dude, the Lakers win the championship this year. I'd be like, yeah, all right, I believe it. You know, like I could see that, and I don't think anyone would be shocked. You still have LeBron James and Anthony Davis. You still have like 2 top 10, top 15 guys at worst on your roster. Like, you know, it's just a travesty that LeBron, AD, and I just feel like we have too much talent on this team to be as bad as we've been. Problem is we just have a lot of redundancies. Andrew, coming out again. Mavs can now too. Lakers need to embrace the chaos. Yeah, that's why I'm saying, like, literally, you can make an argument for all 10 teams in the playoffs or in the Western Conference. Like, Mavs look really good right now. They're playing some excellent basketball. Kyrie and Luka are just like torching everybody. Phoenix Suns have Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant and Devin Booker and Bradley Beal. Right? Like I have a lot of concern. Like every team has holes, every team has flaws, every team has issues. Every team also has an argument why they won't win. I could go through every team and tell you why they would win it. I could go through every team and tell you why they wouldn't win it. But yeah, I mean, I agree with you. Embrace the chaos. Just get to the playoffs. They get to the playoffs, I'm rolling the dice because you're going to have to beat the Lakers. You're not just going to run through the Lakers. You have to beat. Again, you had a LeBron James who needed foot surgery and Anthony Davis on one leg. D'Lo was also on one leg. Like a lot of people forget about that D'Lo had a foot injury before the playoffs even started. It's one of the reasons why he missed a bunch of games before the playoffs. And he even said it in an interview. It's something that I'm going to have to deal with that's really kind of affecting me, but we're in the playoffs, so I got to just play through it. And we still got to the conference finals, right? Like, again, I'll take my chances. Get them healthy. But appreciate it. Thank you. Bold, Reeves, and D'Lo need to put more effort on the defensive end. I just think they just don't have. The problem is they just don't have the tools. Like D'Lo more than Reeves, and D'Lo's been better than Reeves this year, but they just don't have the athleticism and foot speed to be great defensive players. Like Reeves tries at times, he's just not good, right? Like he's just not quick enough, and like teams have just targeted him, and they know how to just like. Again, he's on the scouting report now. Like last year, teams weren't worried about him. Teams were worried about LeBron James and Anthony Davis and D'Angelo Russell because D'Angelo Russell was proven. Reeves wasn't proven, right? He was just another guy, right? And teams are probably looking at it as like, dude, we've seen 100 of these guys. Right? Every year there's that guy that's like, man, this guy's really good. Where did this guy come from? And then just like they're never able to replicate it. Right? Like look at like Michael Carter Williams. Dude won the MVP, was averaging nearly a triple double, was looking like the next great point guard in this league. And where is he now? Right? Like we see guys all the time that are just fantastic. Chandler Parsons, right, goes and gets an absolute bag. Looks like one of the premier 3-and-D guys in the league, and he was just never the same. He's out of the league before his contract was up. Like, there's just a lot. We've seen stuff like that. No, I think Reeves is good. I just think he's not what people want him to be. He's not what people think he is. He's a good role player. He's like a blue chip role guy. If he's like your 5th or 6th best player, you're probably pretty good. But when you need him to be your 3rd or 4th, then you have the situation that you have right now. Unless your 3rd is just that good, right? Like, then you're just in a better position. Last year was like this. This season is even more open. I think this season's more open than last year too. Like last year, I think that there was realistically, I think there was only like 3-4 teams that genuinely had a chance to win it. Like there was like all these teams that were kind of like, oh, like these teams are okay, but like I just think ultimately, like even Phoenix, like when Phoenix got Kevin Durant, everyone was like, oh my God, well, Phoenix is just hand them the trophy. And I was like, they're not winning anything. Like I was like, they're probably not even going to get out of the first round. If Clippers were fully healthy, they probably don't get out of the first round. It's just like last year, I just kind of felt like there's only really 3 teams that are good. Like I was like, Memphis isn't doing anything. The Suns aren't doing anything. Because they traded all their depth, they traded everything. I was like, it's Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and a bunch of guys like me out there. Like it's just not. They're not gonna do anything. So I was just like realistically, who is gonna do anything? It's like the Lakers, the Warriors, the Nuggets, and then it's like, there's probably that surprise team, right? Like Sacramento was too young. I called Sacramento out of all my predictions, Sacramento last year might have been my best one. Like I made a video in the offseason before the season began, and I literally mapped out the entire Sacramento season last year. And I even said in that video, they're not winning a champ. They're not even going to sniff a championship. I was like, they're going to be really fun, electric. They're going to finally make the playoffs, all this stuff. There wasn't any teams that I looked at and were like, oh, that team's going to be like that team's a threat. That team's going to work. I was like, there's like 3 teams that are good. So yeah, but this year, I think this year is far more open. Right? Again, I think that there's realistically only probably like 4 teams in the Western Conference that have a real shot, right? Like genuinely when you get to the playoffs. Like people also underestimate what experience and veterans, like I've said this to people before, right? Like name me a team that has ever won a championship with nothing but young guys. They usually don't even make the playoffs, let alone win championships, right? Even the Warriors, when they were on their dynasty run, one, they were getting up there in age, right? But 2, they had veteran guys. They had like an Andrew Bogut and Andre Iguodala, a Sean Livingston, right? They had these key important veterans that were huge for them. I mean, Andre Iguodala won the first Finals MVP in their first championship, right? Like experience goes a long way, right? Like a team like Oklahoma City, they are extremely talented. I wouldn't be shocked if they lose in the first round. If they play the Lakers or the Warriors in the first round, they're probably going home. Right? Like same thing with Minnesota. Minnesota plays the Lakers or the Warriors, they're probably going home. They just have the experience. They've been there. They've done that. When things start getting tight and things start getting tough, and you got to kind of like, okay, well, how do we figure this out? Well, you get teams like the Warriors. Like look at the Sacramento series, right? With the Warriors. It's like every time push came to shove, boom, the Warriors won. Right? Oh, we're finally going to eliminate the Warriors today. No, you're not. The Warriors just win, and then they go to Game 7, and then they win a Game 7. And it was never thought like when people were like, "Oh, who do you think is going to win the series?" I was like, "The Warriors are going to win the series. Don't worry about it." Oh, but Sacramento just won again. Don't worry about it. The Warriors are going to win the series. Like, just wait. We need LeBron versus the Warriors, absolutely. How do we let? I'm assuming you mean Wemby get a 5x5. I mean, that dude's like averaging that right now. Wemby's like getting all kinds of like crazy stats. That dude had like 19 points, 14 rebounds. I think it was 5 steals, 5 assists, 5 blocks, something like that, in like 20 minutes of action. The like last night or the night before, whatever it was. Lakers should have beaten the Spurs by 15 to 29. I mean, they technically did. They were up 20 when they basically said game's over. Caruso was him. I would have thought his son Reeves would have inherited his defensive prowess, but I guess not. Yeah, but I mean, Caruso's like sneakily athletic. Like he's very athletic. That dude has some bangers up there. Right? Again, he has the foot speed, he has the athleticism, and he has that man body. Like he's look at some of those. Dude, he posted that. What was it, last year or 2 years ago? He posted that picture and got immediately drug tested. That dude's yoked, and he is athletic. Like he has the tools to be a good defensive player, right? People see the DNA and they're like, oh man, but I'm telling you, that dude's hooping. That dude is a lockdown defender. I'm sorry, but LeBron is the greatest ever. You can tell versus the Spurs. If we had him versus the Warriors, we'd have beaten them. Yeah, probably. Yeah, most likely. Don't think we're mid. I don't think we're mid either. Suns, Clippers, and Nuggets all next. Left massive. Well, we also have the Wizards in between that. But like I said, you got to beat one of the Suns and Clippers. I said we needed to go 3-2 to finish this 5-game stretch to close out February. That put us 5 games over 500. I said I would have loved 4-1, but I thought 3-2 would be realistic. I was worried about the Warriors game because again, it's the first game back from All-Star break. These games are tough. I figured, the Spurs and the Wizards are about as close to gimme wins as possible, and yeah, I mean, you just got to win one of those, and you're Gucci. You're in business. Andrew, go through the teams you think can win East and West. I won't go into like major detail because it just would be a lot. Especially the way I like to like go off on rants and stuff. But all right. Teams that I think realistically have a chance to come out the East and potentially get to the finals. And once you get to the finals, anything can happen. Boston, Milwaukee, New York. Those are the 3 teams, not in that order. I actually think the Knicks, healthy, might be the second best team in the Eastern Conference. The only reason I don't think the Knicks win a championship is because I think that they need another star. Like they need another, and it depends on how Julius Randle plays in the playoffs. Julius Randle just completely disappears in the playoffs. And I mean, I'm not like bad. I mean, like terribly bad. Like Bucks still have Damian Giannis, right? They're going to be tough. Cleveland, honestly, I don't really buy them. I mean, again, a team you can make an argument for, but if I'm just kind of listing the teams that I think have a realistic shot, Philadelphia, same thing. I don't really buy them. I just think Joel Embiid, he's not going to show up enough to where they're going to be able to win a championship. Like a sleeper to give me a 4th team, I'd say Miami. Again, I don't really believe Miami does anything this year, but I mean, every year Miami looks like a team that that is like, all right, they're dead in the water and they're in the final. So I'd say Boston is most likely. I really like the Knicks if healthy, everyone's healthy, and they have time to mesh a little better. I think it really just depends on what Julius Randle you get. If you get like regular season Julius Randle, the Knicks are going to be very tough. But yeah, so Boston, Knicks, Bucks, and I'll add the Heat as like just like that 4th team. And then in the Western Conference, Clippers, Nuggets, not in any particular order. I still think Nuggets are number 1. I'd still take Nuggets as the best team in the Western Conference. But Nuggets, Clippers, and if the Lakers get in the postseason, I think the Lakers. I don't think Timberwolves, Thunder, New Orleans, the Dallas, even as good as Dallas has looked, they would like Dallas would be the fourth team that I would add. Like kind of like what I did with Miami. Dallas is that fourth team I add. I still don't like they look better, they look nice. They're playing really good basketball right now. Luka is an absolute monster in the postseason. I just think that the Nuggets and Clippers and even the Lakers in a 7-game series beat them. Lakers have to get to the postseason. So let's leave the Lakers out of it. Let's leave the Warriors out of it because, again, they're the 9th, 10th seed. If Lakers finish in the 9th or 10th seed, I don't even think that they make the playoffs. Or, I mean, they can, but it's really tough. So outside of that, you got Denver, Clippers, and Dallas, I think, would be the three teams in the Western Conference. Sacramento, Pelicans, Thunder, Wolves. None of those teams, I think, make it out. Warriors, if they can avoid like the Nuggets, the Lakers, and the Timberwolves, although I think that they could beat the Timberwolves, I just think Timberwolves' size is going to be a real problem for them. Then maybe them, but realistically, I think it's just those teams. Again, I can make an argument for every team. Like if I really took the time to like go through every team and like took an hour, maybe I'll do that for like a live stream or something. Maybe once we get to the playoff, we have everything kind of finalized. Maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe I'll break down each individual team. Maybe we'll do a live stream and do it for fun. But those are kind of the teams that I think like realistic have the most likely chance to win a championship. Could anything happen? Of course. Right? I mean, we saw Atlanta a couple of years ago get to the conference finals. Right? You get matchups are important. That's why I said like if I really broke it down, I could probably give you more. But just like these are the teams that I think are most likely. Those are the teams. Again, matchups are a big thing. Circumstances, guys get hurt, whatever. You get the luck of the dice. All of a sudden, you're in the conference finals, and then you get to the conference finals, anything can happen. But realistically, like teams that I'd have to bet on, those are the teams. But all right, let's power through a couple more questions here, and then I'm gonna skate on out of here so I can start setting up for tomorrow. It's already 11. Ham doesn't know how to cover up D'Lo and Reeves' weakness on defense. The problem is, without Jared Vanderbilt, we don't have a way to do that. I mean, Anthony Davis is about as close as you can get. If you have Jared Vanderbilt in there, you can kind of get away with a lot more, especially because, again, D'Lo is basically playing the defense Reeves was playing last year. So he's been serviceable enough to where, like, you can survive. It's the problem. Like, Reeves and D'Lo are too redundant. That's why I believe one of them needs to come off the bench. D'Lo is just the better player. You start D'Lo, you bring Reeves off the bench. My thoughts, but it's probably not going to happen. D'Lo legit looks like he's Piccolo with weighted clothes on or something. He's just out there. He's Goku in the tournament. Not the tournament of power. I'm talking about original tournament. Dude needs to take weights off so he can run yet. Vincent needs to be prime MJ in the playoffs to actually meet the value of his contract this year. I mean, he's only making $11 million a year. I mean, I guess with all like the games he's missed and stuff, I guess I kind of understand that. But we just need him to be. Can he just be what he was with Miami in the playoffs? If he can do that, he's going to go a long way. Let's see what else. Off topic, do the Lakers own this year's first round pick, or that pick is owned by the Pelicans? Because I don't understand how that works. So it's up to the Pelicans. So the Pelicans can take either this year's pick or next year's pick. It just depends on what the Pelicans want. They basically have dealer's choice, right? So depending on where the Lakers land will depend. So like if the Pelicans finish with a better record, they're going to defer it, or they're going to take it this year. If they don't, then the Pelicans probably take it next year, right? So like if the Pelicans just fall apart and the Lakers, like let's say the Pelicans fall to like the 8th seed and the Lakers finish 6th, then they might take it next year and just hope that like, hey, maybe the Lakers are bad. The Lakers want to work out some trades in the offseason, so it also could depend on that, right? So the Lakers could always just give incentive, right? So say like, let's say let's just use Trae Young for example, right? Let's say Trae Young really is available and the Lakers really do try to trade for Trae. But the Atlanta really likes somebody in this year's draft, and they want this year's pick. The Lakers could then go to the Pelicans and be like, hey, we're working out a deal here. Can you take next year's pick rather than this year's pick? And we'll give you an added incentive. Maybe we'll take off protections, or we'll take off, or we'll give you a couple seconds, or we'll give you something. But right now, it's up to the Pelicans. It's whatever the Pelicans want. They get to choose. So the Lakers technically don't own. Right now the Lakers don't own this year's pick or next year's pick, because the Pelicans technically own both of them, but they got to choose one. Austin Reaves is a streaky shooter. He can be at times, yeah. Reaves defensively against the best West guards like Shea, Steph, Ant, or Jamal in the playoffs is barbecue. He will be looking like Hercule against Mashimu or Cell. Hey, Hercule always came out the hero. Okay. Let's see. Reaves and his predecessor, Caruso. No one will fill his shoes. It's too hard to say goodbye. Let's see. Letting LeBron James play in the fourth way too long. It's annoying. Y'all nuts happening in anime like me. I just want to put that out there. I believe that. I'm not like the only like anime I ever got into was Dragon Ball, like Dragon Ball Super, all that stuff. Like I never really got into anything else. Like I tried like One Piece and Yu Yu Hakusho and like Naruto and all those things like growing up. I don't know. I just never really could get into them. But Dragon Ball, I fell in love with Dragon Ball. That eventually became Dragon Ball Z, and then getting into GT, which is everyone either seems to like love or hate that. I thought that series sucked. Although I loved Super Baby Vegeta. Super Baby Vegeta and like Baby period, I thought was great. I thought it was like a great like arc. Like is the Tuffles being able to like just control everybody and take over all the Saiyans and stuff, like that was gangsta. And like Goku's just like, I didn't like the Goku turning into a little kid thing. That I thought was stupid. I would have loved to see like full grown Goku just like body up Baby and all his like sons and stuff. But I also liked how Vegeta looked in GT. But yeah, Super's all right. Like it has really good moments and like bad moments. Obviously, Tournament of Power was dope. Goku Black, that was like, it didn't make any sense. Like if you really watch it and analyze it, like that entire like Black arc made zero sense, but it was just cool to watch. Like it was cool seeing Goku evil. But yeah, D'Lo, Cam, Bron, Rui, AD, starting five in the playoffs. D'Lo, Cam, Bron, Rui, AD, starting five in the playoffs. I mean, if LeBron is willing to play the three and like actually lock down for a playoff series, then sure. I think it depends on the matchup. Because like I said, if we played like, say you play Minnesota in the first round, I think you could run that starting five. And I think it'd be fine. I actually think it'd be pretty good. If you're playing, say, the Clippers, right? I don't know how much I like that. I think it just depends on also which Rui you get in the playoffs. If he can continue to be like playoff Rui, which I mean he was with the Wizards and the Lakers, then I think you could probably get away with that. Assuming Vando is not healthy, because I don't know. I mean, I almost feel like just swap Cam for Vando. I know Reddish can kind of play the two better than Vando can, but just embrace the size, embrace the versatility, just be bigger than everybody, just dominate that way. I think it just depends on a couple things. It depends on the matchup, and it depends on how Rui is shooting. If Rui's shooting well, then you might be able to get away with it. I don't hate it. Like if that was like our starting five against like Minnesota, I'd be like, all right, bet, let's go. Yeah, I don't hate it. I just think keep it simple. Just go starting five in the playoffs. D'Lo, Dinwiddie, Vando, LeBron, and AD, assuming everyone's healthy. There's your starting five. Let's go. Or if you wanted to, if you want to keep, say, Spencer Dinwiddie on the bench for this playmaking, and Gabe Vincent's healthy and he can get back to Miami playoff Gabe Vincent, I wouldn't even hate D'Lo, Vincent, Vando, LeBron, and AD. Just depends on what Vincent you're getting. If you're getting like the 1 of 15 from 3 Gabe Vincent, then yeah, you can't do that. But if you're getting like Miami Heat NBA Finals or NBA playoff run, finals run, Gabe Vincent, then I would be cool with that. Go D'Lo, Vincent, LeBron, or D'Lo, Vincent, Vando, LeBron, and AD. Now you got 2 point of attack guys. You got D'Lo and his 3-point shooting, his playmaking. Vincent was like 40% from three, or 39% from three in the playoffs. So now you got a 40% 3-point shooter. You got D'Lo, who can do all the things he can do. LeBron, AD, and then Jared Vanderbilt. They actually were turning into a serviceable offensive player. So before he got hurt. So do stuff like that. I am with it. 100%. But anyway, I think I'm going to skate on out of here. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. And I'm sorry, I just want to check this real quick. All right. Okay, cool. Yeah, I appreciate you guys. Thank you all for hanging out with me. Seriously, you guys are awesome. And we are going to get back at this. Got the Suns coming up. What, Sunday? Got to get that win. Got to beat Phoenix. Got to beat Phoenix. Also, we didn't talk about this at all during the stream, which is, I think, worth mentioning. The Suns and who else lost today? A couple teams that we needed. Pelicans, right? Suns and Pelicans, didn't they both lose today? Which is good. Yeah, Pelicans and the Suns lost. Yes. So that is huge for us also. I think that's worth mentioning. And I'm surprised. I'm shocked. No one. I mean, maybe somebody did. I didn't get through the whole stream. But yeah, I'm glad that we got those. But anyway, you guys are awesome. I appreciate you guys. And also hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button on your way out. Everyone that gave me super chat, seriously, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. You guys are awesome, and I will see you in the next one.